So Anthony Forbes is reporting this. And Anthony, by the way, #1 best-selling book, Debt-Free Degree, which apparently a lot of people didn't get, the book or the idea.
Right.
Because the student loan crisis is at epic proportions.
Yeah.
According to the Washington Post, President Joe Biden will not include any student loan cancellation in his annual budget. While the annual budget, which is expected at the end of the next week, only contains major policy plans that have already been released by the Biden administration, it's another major setback for student loan cancellation. As a presidential candidate, Biden called for Congress to cancel up to $10,000 of student loans for student loan borrowers, but hasn't enacted any policy for student loan cancellation through an executive order. The exclusion of student loan cancellation isn't a surprise based on the latest news on student loan cancellation. It's easier to read the writing on the wall about where Biden stands on his executive authority to cancel student loans. It's not that Biden doesn't support student loan cancellation. He does. However, Biden wants Congress, not the president, to enact student loan cancellation through legislation. So, turns out, and you know, we used to say things when I was a kid, Anthony. See if you've ever heard this saying. That's like an act of Congress, which means it's impossible.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you can't get. It'll take forever, and if you do get, you know, it's easier to get an act of Congress. Hear people say. I've heard people say that my whole life, and so now Biden is saying it. But yeah. So the problem, though, is that people quit paying their student loans because they think that AOC and Biden is going to come, and Elizabeth Warren is going to come save them.
Yeah.
And so the default rate on student loans have gone way up because they're all anticipating a forgiveness, some kind of a political activity to forgive their loans. And it appears, if it does happen, it's not going to be anytime soon.
And I think the thing that is so discouraging for me, Dave, is I've been criticized on my show telling people take advantage of paying off your student loans because you're not gaining any interest right now. But the number one critique that I'm getting from people is, well, wait, I want to see what Biden is going to do with canceling the student loans. And now look, we get this. Mm-hmm. We get this. Like, Biden is not going to fight for it. And I believe, now, Dave, I could be wrong. Let me say this on the Ramsey show. I could be wrong. But I do not see Congress coming in and making it happen. Now, it could happen, but history is showing us that it's not going to happen.
Well, it could happen. But one thing's for sure. Mm-hmm. Not anytime soon.
Ooh.
That we can count on.
Yeah. Yep.
Because it requires an act of Congress, right? And so it's not going to, you know. So the problem with this is where piss poor leadership sends a signal that causes people to engage in self-destructive behaviors.
Yeah.
Meaning, I'm not going to pay my student loans because the government's going to let me out of them. And so now I'm in default. And default, by the way, screws up your credit. Mm-hmm. By the way, it builds up late fees and interest and penalties. And by the way, it's going to make it harder for you to get out. And by the way, most of you owe more than $10,000.
Yeah. The average owes about $38,000.
That's the average nationally. And we talk to people on here every day with over 100.
Absolutely.
I think the thing is this, folks. What you really need to get your head around from an economics perspective, not a political perspective, not a moral or philosophical, you know, is it your right to have your student loan forgiven? Is it philosophically correct? All of that really doesn't matter. Here's a real practical fact for you. The government is not good at anything.
Definitely.
They're not efficient at anything. And so anytime, anywhere in your life, you are waiting on them to fix your life is going to continue to suck.
Yes.
It's a simple principle of life.
Yeah.
You know, if anybody wearing a Superman cape with an R or a D on it is flying across in your vision, promising you that your life is going to be okay, and you believe them when they do that, you are screwed.
Now, Dave, would you agree if I said, hey, listen, keep riding your path. Keep paying your student loans. Keep doing it. And if Congress comes in and says, I'll forgive $10,000, then you take it. But if they don't, you're still moving forward.
I wouldn't say not to take it.
There you go.
If it comes.
Thank
but
you.
I would not adjust your current life and
There
your
you
current
go.
plan based on false promises coming out of Washington, D.C., because they've been coming out of Washington, D.C. as long as it has been there.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I'm old. 100% of my success has been the blessings of the Lord, customers that loved how we served them, and my hard butt work.
Yeah.
I have not gotten any money from Washington, D.C. They have not sent me any money. I'm not waiting on them to create a successful life for Dave Ramsey. And if you wait on them to create a successful life for you, your life's going to continue to suck.
Yeah.
The same thing when I'm waiting on Biden bucks to come in, the stimulus money. If $600 changes your life was already messed up, baby. You were already playing small ball. You weren't playing big. It's T-ball. So you need to get in where they're throwing fast pitches and swing for the fence, honey. If you want to be, you got to play big. You got to think big. And you're playing small ball when you're looking for the government to bail you out of anything. Now, if they start handing me some of the money I have paid them back in any form or format,
Agreed.
I will take that. Now, when I take it, it's a different kind of criticism than you get when you talk about this.
Yeah.
If I take it, it's called corporate welfare.
Oh, Lord.
Corporate welfare. No, that was me getting some of my money back.
Oh, Lord.
That's what that was. So any chance I can get my corporate welfare, I'll be signing up for that. But I am not waiting, and I'm not adjusting my success patterns, the behaviors in my life to wait on the government to fix my life. I'm not going to let them influence me into violating common sense in order to do that. And that's what you have as another failed political promise right here.
Absolutely. So the moral of the story, America, is
Pay off your dadgum student loans.
go after it. And if they give you some money, use it. Use it wisely. But until then, if they do not, pay your bills. Bottom line.
As fast as you can.
Yeah.
The secret to becoming a millionaire is not waiting on the government to do it for you. Oh, wow, that was insightful. Who thought of that?
I did.
Destroy your student loans if you want to do that. There's a book by Anthony O'Neill at RamseySolutions.com right now. That'll really get you out of debt. But we're not paying any of it for you, darling. You're going to pay it.